I'm Adrian Seet and you are watching Nightline, news making the headlines. More than 680 million ringgit loss due to mismanagement of government programs. Government to study proposal for phase expansion of social protection coverage. And Hamas and Zionist regime's ceasefire to begin Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. A total of 681.71 million in taxpayers' money was lost due to shortcomings in 6 government programs, according to the 2022 Auditor General's report released on Wednesday. Auditor General Dato' Wan Suraya Wan Muhammad Razi said the report included 16 performance audits carried out in 14 ministries involving projects and programs worth 208.882 billion ringgit. The Party Planting Management Program was responsible for the biggest loss, amounting to 660 million ringgit. Wan Suraya said the program fell short of its target in terms of output and increasing planters' income. She added that there was poor management in various aspects, including land management, paddy seeds, fertilizer, farm machinery and monetary allocations. Other major losses were in the Langkawi Development Authority, Lada Real Estate Development Programs, Firearms Supervisory and Management under the Home Ministry, the management of the Marine Protected Area Conservation Program, the Investment Promotion Program for the manufacturing sector and the management of the Safe City Program. Wan Suraya also described the performance of the National Flood Forecasting and Warning Program for 3 river basins in Kelantan, Terengganu and Pahang as unsatisfactory. She said while the government had spent 145 million ringgit on the program from 2015 to 2022, its flood forecasting accuracy rate was only 5.6% and it was unable to issue warnings and announcements 2 days in advance. In the report, Wan Suraya also put forward 261 recommendations to be considered for implementation by the audited ministries, departments and agencies at the federal and state levels. Now, the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, will begin proceedings on issues and criticisms raised in the 2022 AG's report by looking into LADA's property development management. Its chairman, Dato' Mas Ermiati Samsudin, said the PAC will call on the Finance Ministry to explain the matter next Thursday.
PAC juga akan memaklumkan dari semasa ke semasa bagi tajuk lain untuk proceeding PAC, which kita dah pun menyusun jadual sampai hujung tahun ni untuk sampai Disember untuk isu-isu yang dibangkitkan.
Speaking at a media conference at the Parliament building on Wednesday, Mas Ermiati said the proceedings will focus on issues related to malpractice, abuse of power, wastage and negligence. Earlier, the PAC was given a briefing by the Auditor General and the National Audit Department on the 2022 AG's report, which included reports on activities of the federal government ministries or departments and federal statutory bodies, management of federal government companies, and special audit of forest management and environmental impact. In another development, Mas Ermiati hopes that the government can include the committee's role and responsibilities in the proposed amendments to the Audit Act 1957. She added that the committee was ready to discuss with the National Audit Department and give its input in relation to the government's plans to amend the law to enable the PAC to perform its role better. Sultan Sultan Iskandar on Wednesday stressed that his priority as the country's next head of state will be to safeguard the interests of the 33 million people of Malaysia. The Sultan of Johor also said his election as the 17th Yang di-Pertuan Agong is not a promotion, but an additional responsibility that requires the sacrifices of time and energy.
Keutamaan saya bukan untuk menjaga kepentingan politik 222 orang wakil rakyat, tetapi 33 juta rakyat Malaysia. Itulah yang menjadi kepentingan saya.
Sultan Ibrahim said this at his 65th birthday celebration ceremony at the Istana Besar in Johor Bahru on Wednesday. The ruler added that he feels that the country has been infected with a virus of division that stems from political quarrels, insults and slander in pursuit of power and position for personal gain that has divided the unity of the people. As such, Sultan Ibrahim called on all political leaders to be tolerant and respectful of each other to enhance the prosperity and the well-being of the people. The Conference of Rulers at its special 263rd meeting on October the 27th Ibrahim as the next Yang di-Pertuan Agong for a 5-year term, effective January 31st next year. The government has agreed to study the proposal for a phased expansion of social protection coverage to the working age population of Malaysia reaching 18 years old to ensure old age income security from 2024 onwards. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that the decision was made during the 6th meeting of the Malaysian Social Protection Council, or MySPC, that he chaired on Wednesday. Anwar, in a statement, said that the Employees Provident Fund, EPF, through the Finance Ministry, has brought forth the proposal for the Cabinet's approval. He added, through the meeting, the government also discussed a more inclusive and comprehensive social protection coverage for the people, especially vulnerable groups and those in the informal sector. The Prime Minister stressed that through MySPC, the government aims to strengthen and expand the country's social protection network, and it should be translated into action plans that can be seen, felt and enjoyed by eligible citizens. The aspiration can be achieved through the coordination and implementation of inclusive social protection programs and capacity building programs for targeted groups in an integrated manner. Anwar also added that sustainable social protection will ensure that every citizen can maintain a decent standard of living when they face any risks throughout their lives. Police have received a total of 37 reports regarding false bomb threats across the country as at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said they involved 28 international schools, 7 private schools and 2 public schools in 9 states. Razaruddin said Selangor had the highest number of reports with 15, followed by Kuala Lumpur and Johor with 6 each, Pulau Pinang 3, Perak and Negeri Sembilan with 2 each, as well as 1 each in Kedah, Sarawak and Sabah. He added that the police have opened 9 investigation papers related to the threats. Based on the reports received by authorities, the hoax bomb threats were received via 2 email accounts using the name Tuxstorer, that translates to disturber of peace in German, from the email service provider Bibel.com. The top cop also reiterated that the people, especially parents, as well as school administration and personnel, should not panic, as the police will ensure that the public safety and peace are maintained. The cases are being investigated under the Penal Code for criminal intimidation by an anonymous communication under the Communications and Multimedia Act for the misuse of network facilities. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has assured the safety and security of students in public education institutions following a bomb scare at several international schools, as well as private and public schools nationwide on Tuesday. The ministry, in a statement on Wednesday, said it viewed the matter seriously and always prioritized the safety of teachers, students, and workers of education institutions under its management. It also said that the close cooperation between the ministry and the police guarantees security in all educational institutions. All the institutions are also requested to comply with the security procedures that have been set. The ministry also stressed that any security threat must be reported immediately to both the police and the ministry. It was reported on Tuesday that the police, with the help of the affected school management as well as the fire and rescue department, evacuated the schools involved for a thorough security flushing to be carried out. All the bomb threats were later confirmed to be hoaxes. The National Film Development Corporation Malaysia, FINAS, aims to explore more opportunities together with Media Prima Berhad by strengthening the development of the industry through strategic cooperation and a two-way synergistic network platform. Its Chief Executive Officer, Dato' Azmir Saifuddin Muttalib, said through the collaboration, both parties can share proposals and ideas, especially in regards to enhancing marketability and global competitiveness in the creative industry.
So bagi saya ingin berbincang dengan pihak Media Prima bagaimana kita boleh memperkuatkan lagi kita punya ekosistem. Terutama kali dari segi pengedaran dan juga marketing and promotion. Sebab Media Prima memang ada wide network, kan? Beberapa radio, TV station, printing. Untuk bisnes filem ataupun media ni, PR pun main peranan besar.
He said this following a visit from representatives of Media Prima Berhad in Petaling Jaya, Selangor on Wednesday that was led by the Chief Executive Officer of Media Prima Television Networks and Primeworks Studios, Nini Yusof. Also present was the Deputy Director General of Management, Datin Rosita Wat. Dato' Azmir added, besides a direct exchange of ideas related to industry empowerment from a broadcaster's perspective, the communication platform with Media Prima also provides a space for exploration and the potential for effective marketing methods at the international level. Previously, FINAS allocated 10 million ringgit to Media Prima for their digital content production under the Digital Content Fund, DKD grant. New Delhi air quality dips into severe category. News from the foreign front when we return. After 46 days of continuous Zionist violence, the Israeli government and Hamas have reached a temporary truce on Wednesday to allow humanitarian aid into the besieged enclave and the exchange of hostages. According to officials, the truce, expected to begin at 10 a.m. local time on Thursday, will allow hundreds of trucks of humanitarian, medical and fuel aid to enter Gaza and be delivered across the north and south without exception. The deal would also facilitate the release of at least 50 Israelis in exchange for 150 Palestinians jailed in Israel, and the ceasefire could be extended further as long as more hostages were freed. In the meantime, the Zionist regime has committed itself to no arrests across the Gaza Strip, and Israeli warplanes will also cease operations in southern Gaza for the duration of the truce and in the north for 6 hours a day. The truce that was mediated by Qatar and Egypt would mark a first in Israel's nearly 2 months of relentless bombardment of Palestine that had claimed the lives of over 14,000 people. However, while the ceasefire was welcomed around the world, given its potential to cease the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made it clear that the war on Gaza is not over. Meanwhile, residents of Khan Yunis and Hebron welcomed the 4-day truce, hopeful of a permanent ceasefire so that people can return to their normal lives. However, many have doubts on whether Israel would abide by the deal, as the Zionist regime was seen continuing to send airstrikes into Gaza.
بعتقد انه يعني المفهوم كله الشعب الفلسطيني عارف شو المفهوم ماشي بس الدور على اليهود انهم يمشوا على هذه الخطوات وبالاحرى احنا كنا عارفين انه اليهود يعني عمرهم ما مشوا على معاهده بصراحه.
احنا لازم التهدئه تكون شامله في غزه وفي جميع قطاع غزه ويكون اليهود هم اليهود احيانا بيقوموا بالغدر وبقتلوا الاطفال وبيلتزموش باي شيء. اليهود احنا بدنا تهدئه شامله حتى الناس تستعيد تقدر تجيب حوايج البيت الغاز الطحين
New Delhi's air quality dipped to severe on Wednesday morning as many parts of India's capital city were engulfed in toxic air due to cold winds on Tuesday. Now, parts of New Delhi such as Ashok Vihar, Jahangirpuri and Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium witnessed an air quality index ranging from 400 to 500 on the scale. Meanwhile, not much relief is likely as the Indian Meteorological Department predicted shallow fog in the capital on November the 22nd, 24th and 25th and moderate fog on November 23rd. Fog is also likely to occur across parts of the capital on November 26th and the 27th. New Delhi's air pollution is expected to get worse in the winter when wind speeds drop and cooling air traps pollutants spewed by vehicles, industry and farmers burning agricultural waste in the surrounding states to prepare for the new planting season. South Korea on Wednesday suspended part of a 2018 military agreement with North Korea after it defied warnings from the United States and launched a spy satellite. The suspension of a clause in the agreement will see the South step up military surveillance along the heavily fortified border with the North. This came after Pyongyang fired a rocket late on Tuesday said to contain its Malik-Yong-1 spy satellite and hailed the launch as a success. South Korea's military in the meantime confirmed that the satellite had entered orbit, but noted that it would take time to assess whether it was operating normally. The pact between the North and South Korea, known as the Comprehensive Military Agreement and aimed at de-escalating the tension between them, was signed at a 2018 summit between the then South Korean President Moon Jae-in and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Xia eases into second round in Shenzhen. Sports after this breather. Badminton, the 2023 China Masters. National men's singles shuttler Li Zijia defeated fellow compatriot Ng Ziyong to make it into the second round on Wednesday. World number 11 Zijia had to dig deep before overcoming Ziyong 21-15, 20-22, 21-17 in a thrilling opening round match. With his win, Zijia will next face world number 16 homester Lu Guangzhou in the second round on Thursday. Joining him was women's singles shuttler Go Jinwei. The 23-year-old faced no trouble defeating Estonian Kristen Kuuba in straight sets, 21-11, 21-18 in 28 minutes. She will next play China's Chen Yufei in the next round. Meanwhile, women's doubles pair Pearly Tan M. Tinaa and mixed doubles Go Sun Huat, Chevron Lai Jamie and Tan Kian Mei Lai Pei Jing all crashed out of the competition. World number 12 Pearly Tinaa fought hard but agonizingly lost 11-21, 21-15, 20-22 to South Korea's world number 11 Jeong Na-un Kim Hae-jeong, while Sun Huat Chevron lost to Hong Kong's Tan Chun-man Ziying 17-21, 20-22. Also suffering a straight set defeat were Kian Mei and Beijing, bowing to Thailand's S. Pausampran S. Jomko 2022-2022. On to football. The 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. A thunderous header by Nicolas Otamendi saw Argentina win a physical clash with rivals Brazil, keeping the El Biceleste atop the qualifying standings. Brazil were arguably the better side and almost found the net in the 58th minute, but the team wasted their golden opportunity when Gabriel Martinelli missed an absolute sitter, striking a close-range shot straight at Argentina's goalkeeper. The visitors, led by skipper Lionel Messi, held on and made the most of one of the few chances they created in the 63rd minute, when defender Otamendi rose high to power home a Giovanni Lo Celso's corner. With the win, Argentina topped the standings at 15 points, with Brazil sitting 8 points behind in 6th place, the last spot that guarantees a berth in the 2026 finals. When we return, Babysitter pleads not guilty to child neglect. Nightline continues. Police have smashed a job scam syndicate when they arrested 17 suspects manning a calling centre at a bungalow in Aikuruh, Melaka. State Police Chief Dato' Zainal Samah said the syndicate targeted British nationals by offering non-existent part-time jobs on a fake website. According to Zainul, the suspects, including the 35-year-old supervisor of the calling centre, were nabbed during a raid at 12:23 a.m. on Wednesday. Authorities also seized various assets and equipment, including 18 computer sets, 60 mobile phones, and 2 vehicles worth more than 100,000 ringgit during the operation. It was believed that the syndicate had been operating from the bungalow since September this year. Initial investigations showed that the syndicate used prepaid telephone numbers from Britain to randomly send short messages in English with offers of non-existent part-time jobs to people in that country. The suspects were paid a monthly salary of 4,000 ringgit each, apart from a 10% commission from the amount scammed from victims. 5 of the suspects also had past criminal records related to cheating cases. All those detained, comprising 13 local men and 1 local woman and 3 foreign men aged between 17 and 40, have been remanded for 4 days for investigation under the Penal Code for cheating and criminal conspiracy. A babysitter pleaded not guilty in the Sepang Sessions Court to neglecting a 4-month-old baby girl, resulting in the victim sustaining a physical injury. Nur Anis Idayu Muhammad Khair, aged 25, entered the plea after the charge was read before Judge Azrul Abdullah. She allegedly committed the offence at a condominium unit in Southville City, Dengkil, between 11 a.m. and 5:43 p.m. on November the 15th. The charge was framed under Section 31, subsection 1A of the Child Act 2001 that provides imprisonment of up to 20 years or a fine not exceeding 50,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. The court allowed the accused bail of 10,000 ringgit with 1 surety and set December 20th for mention. On November 19th, the media reported that a 4-month-old baby girl suffered a fractured right thigh bone believed to have been caused by her babysitter. Also in Selangor, a 51-year-old Indonesian babysitter pleaded not guilty in the Petaling Jaya Sessions Court to neglecting a 2-month-old baby girl that resulted in the child's death last month. Mulyati Kalim was charged with negligence while babysitting the infant by leaving her without supervision at a nursery near Kota Damansara at about 9:40 a.m. on October the 10th. She was charged under Section 31, subsection 1A of the Child Act that carries a maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit or 20 years imprisonment or both upon conviction. The court set 15,000 ringgit bail with 2 sureties and fixed December 21st for mention. On October the 14th, it was reported that a foreign woman who worked as a babysitter at a nursery in Kota Damansara was arrested by the police following the death of a 2-month-old baby girl, Kasih Aulia Faizul. Petaling Jaya District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Fakhruddin Abdul Hamid said the woman was arrested after police received a report from the medical officer who treated the victim. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as the biggest ever edition of Stand-Up Paddling World Championships draws competitors from 52 nations who race their way through the technical, long distance and sprint disciplines in the waters of Pattaya. With that, I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for watching Nightline and be safe, Malaysia.